people were wondering how you were feeling and what you were thinking and what was going on with you, and that was part of what folks were. Those are not those are not aspects that we often associate with common leadership styles, where you try to make yourself kind of vulnerable and approachable. We talk about it in a kind of a more of an esoteric sense, but not in the real everyday business sense. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how this has affected your leadership style. How do you lead differently today than you did 3 years ago? What are you more conscious of than you were less conscious of before? How do you kind of create that positive momentum and a sense of direction, but at the same time being conscious of what's happening with others?
Yes. So I think, at least when I was studying, I never had a class on emotions or emotional connection, and and it was almost, as I said, a sign of weakness to show what you were feeling. And if anything, like what's called today soft skills, I think it's the name is just wrong. I mean, it's probably one of the hardest skills to work on, and one of the most necessary to work on. And the way I think about it is we are all emotional beings. So if humans are emotional beings and we don't know how to talk about emotions, then there's just something wrong in the equation. So the way it has changed, first, I think it all starts within yourself, and trying to understand what happens within you before understanding what happens in on other people. So I think the first phase is just really understanding how do you feel, and what are those triggers that would uh, make you feel one way or the other. And once you're aware of that, and once you understand how you do feel, and this all started, I remember the first time I took a look at the list of emotions that Lola gave us, I was like, wow, there's all these emotions, and probably my vocabulary, I just had, very few, happy, sad, angry, and that's maybe it. So then you start to understand there's a lot more into it, and you start to understand what triggers your emotions to come up. And once you're able to do that, then you can take a step further and understand what could trigger emotions on other people. And once you do that, then you are in this, I think, in this virtuous cycle where you're able to connect with other people in a much stronger way. And when we think about leadership, I think the one of the most important um, attributes of a leader is to be able to connect with other people. So how do we connect with other people if those people don't know how you feel, or you don't know how they feel? I think it's just it becomes a very challenging position to be at for every leader. So I think the way it has changed in terms of how we lead here, first, we understand ourselves better, which I think is just the probably the starting point. Then we're able to understand other people better as well. And once that happens, then you're able to connect with other people. And once you're able to connect with other people within the team, then the you become, I think, a much stronger leader.